Hey guys, it's AfroCCW here, and I'm going to bring you a different kind of a video today. I'm going to set you down using this ammo pouch, a Russian ammo pouch for the 9130, and I'm going to use that as my stand. Alright, anyways, I'm going to kind of be showing you guys some of the stuff. I just needed to do this, and I decided I might as well make a video out of it, right? YouTube life. So I had some guitars out and I was messing around. And I decided I need to adjust my bass. This is a bass that I built myself. Not like, I didn't like go out, chop down trees and make everything, but I bought a parts kit basically. You could call it a parts kit basically. And I put it all together, and I had to like sand down the wood and finish all the wood, and had to paint it all and wire up all the electronics and string it and adjust everything and install all the pickups and whatnot. It plays alright, but the action is still really high, so I'm going to fix that today. And the way you do that is there's a rod, a steel rod that goes through the neck on steel string guitars and basses, and that is, it holds, like it applies tension and gives the neck support so that it doesn't snap in half under the tension of the steel strings. Things like ukuleles or other nylon stringed instruments like classical guitars and Spanish guitars don't use truss rods because the nylon strings put such a low tension that it doesn't even affect the wood. So there's no truss rod in here, so you can't adjust it, which is all fine and good because these strings are easy to press down anyways. So it doesn't really need any adjusting. And then electric guitars, like I said, this guitar's got a truss rod too, and the truss rod on this one is under this little plate that says Gibson. Now you guys all know this is not a Gibson guitar. This is an Epiphone guitar. For some reason, when Epiphone makes Les Pauls, they put the little thing that says Gibson on there because they want you to think that you're getting an amazing guitar. I'm not saying this isn't an amazing guitar, but it's not a Gibson. Anyways, all guitar talk aside, let's get down to business. So what I have here, this bass, you can see around here, there's a much larger space. You might not be able to see that. There's a much larger space right here than there is up here between the strings and the neck. So the way to reduce that is to tighten the truss rod. If you loosen it, it'll create more space. If you tighten it, it'll reduce the space. So what it's basically doing is it's pulling the neck, like this neck. The neck on this bass right now is bowed like this. Like this is an extreme exaggeration, but that's what it's doing, is making a bowl. And I want to flatten out that bowl more so that there's less pressing I have to do when I get to the higher frets where I like to play a lot of stuff. Because that's where the best sound you get out of a guitar is between the 5th and 12th fret. So I'm going to find a key, an Allen key that fits the truss rod, because this one does use an Allen key. So I'm going to loosen this string and get it out of the way. I don't like to loosen the strings because then it changes the tension on the neck, and you have to do more trial and error to get it adjusted. But it's necessary a lot of times to get access. Okay, so I just needed to move this string, so I needed to remove this string so I could get the hex bit in there. Alright, so I'm going to turn it a quarter turn, take a look at my neck. It needs to come down quite a bit more still. So I'm going to give it a couple more turns before I check. Take a look. It's getting real close. I think another quarter turn and I'll tighten up that string again and test the action, make sure it's not buzzy. So that's pretty low. Significantly lower than it was before. And by the way, just in case you're wondering why these strings look so weird, it's because they're flat wound strings made for fretless basses. And I play acoustic stand-up bass normally, so I like to play fretless type strings on my bass guitars. They don't give the exact best sound, but they do give really smooth, warm tones. Alright, so the action is quite a bit lower. I think I might even bring it down just a little more. Actually, Yeah, I'm going to bring it down just a wee bit more. I don't think I'm going to loosen this string as much. I think I'm just going to pop it out of the nut. And the nut is this piece up here that keeps the strings spaced right. Alright, so I just popped it out and it's resting right next to the next string. So let me see if I can get this in here. I really should do some editing on this video and cut out the boring parts. I think this is going to be my first video that I edit just because otherwise it'll be really, really boring. Alright, this is going to have to come down quite a bit actually. Alright, so now I'm going to check and take a look down the neck. Like, I'm going to look at it like this and see that I went too far. So I have to start loosening a little bit because I overstepped it a little bit and made it bow like this. That's why you should really check every quarter turn and just make it a nice long process. That way you don't overdo it, because otherwise you just end up doing way too much work. Just a tiny bit straighter and then it'll be freaking perfect. It'll be straight. Alright, that's looking straight. Alright, so I'm going to line this string back up and give it a go. So now the only problem is I need to, actually, no, there's nothing else. That's just, alright, so now I'm going to adjust the bridge a little bit. This is the bridge, by the way, if you don't know anything about basses or guitars. This is what adjusts how high your strings are off the board. Adjusting the truss rod can lower your strings, but it really just straightens out the neck. This truly adjusts how high your strings are. And the screws on this are Allen keys, and they're much, much smaller. Okay, so now I have my bass fully adjusted. It's not exactly in tune, and it's not perfect, but it was a lot cheaper than me taking it in and having somebody else adjust it for me. And it'll do just fine for my purposes. It's the best this thing's been ever. It's out of tune. Perfect. So, yeah, hopefully you learned something, and if not, then good for you, you already know a lot of stuff. And anyways, let me put my tools away, and then I'll be out. Tools! What do I do? Alright, so I'm really tired and prom's tomorrow, so I'm probably going to go take a freaking 8-hour nap and then go have fun for a few hours. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. This has been Afro CCW Video, and I'm out of here.